Sony released a new pair of extra bass earbuds. Let me tell you, the bass on these got me going, holy fuck! So let me tell you a little bit about these. These are the Sony WF-XB700. Another wonderful Sony name. We'll just call them the XB700 from now on. So these are the new true wireless earbuds coming from Sony. The other earbuds that they do either have got a wire on them, or you go all the way up to the $250, whatever they are now, $280 WF-1000XM3s. They're not the WF-1000XM3, so don't go into these thinking that you're getting a lower cost pair of those. You're not. The 1000XM3s are not a part of the extra bass line, hence the XB in these. So they're a different thing altogether, totally different beast. They don't have noise cancelling, don't have app support, they don't have pass-through. So if they're the things that you're looking at in earbuds, these may not be for you. I just want to give you that straight off the bat. However, let me get into it and I'll tell you a little bit more about these things. So in the box, you're going to find your usual stuff really. It's no frills. You're going to get obviously the earbuds in the case. Below that, you're going to get the USB-C cable. You're going to get 3 extra sets of silicone ear tips. They call them hybrid silicone. They're just silicone ear tips. Let's not play silly names like that. That's just, no. That's a job for Apple. They do that, not you, Sony. So anyway, 3 extra sets of ear tips, different sizes. The ones that came in the box, for the first time ever, fit my great big lugs. And then you get your usual paperwork and a really short USB-C cable. But yeah, no frills. Like I say, these are the low cost line. When it comes to Sony, these are $130, so you don't expect anything else. Let's talk about the design of these things. So Sony always find a way of making their products just look different to everybody else's. The XM3s look like little beans, like pills coming out your ears. The very first XM, were they just called the XM? I think they were just called the XM, the very first 1000 series. And they look like kidney beans. They were really weird. And these are no different. They're not beans or pill shaped as such. What these are, it's like stacked. They're like a stacked disc shape. And they do protrude out your ears a little bit. And there is quite a big kind of disc. Well, look here. They are kind of, I don't know. They're very different, but they're also really comfortable. But I'll talk about that in a little while. The case is also no frills. It's got like a frosted translucent top on the actual case, the flip lid. And you can see when the lights are on and things like that through there. You can just about see the buds. It's got a USB-C port, and that's about it. Nothing special. Like I say, no frills when it comes to what's in the box, and no frills when it comes to the actual design of these things. You're not going to look at them and think, damn, they look good. Well, maybe you will, but me, I don't think so personally. They look okay, and they're very comfortable, but that's about it. So let's talk about that battery life. These give you up to 9 hours battery life. I was getting just over 8 out of these, but I do have everything on full, and I even boost the bass in these, which when I get onto the sound quality later, you don't have to do that. But I use the classic V when it comes to the equalizer, and they just boom and full blast and away they go. So I was getting just over 8 hours. I would imagine if you didn't do what I did, you listen to them on your standard equalizer or something like that, and listen to them at like 70%, which you can do because they're plenty loud enough. You probably hit close to the 9 hours, so don't let that put you off. I think the battery life at 9 hours out of the Buds is fantastic. Not quite as good as the Buds Plus from Samsung that hit 11, and not as good as Creative Outlier Gold's 14 hours, but still really good and right up there with some of the best. Pretty good class leading battery. The case. The case also gives you an extra 9 hours. I think that's a bit of a letdown considering the size of the case. I would have liked to have seen at least another 18 hours, 2 full charges out of that case. I mean, it does make up for that when the actual Buds themselves last for up to 9 hours, so it's not that much of an issue. And then obviously you're putting them back in the box every day. I mean, it's going to last you a long time before you need to recharge, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit more battery life out of that case. It would have been the next step for me. It would have really cemented what I think of these. They're also IPX4 rated, so Don't be thinking you can go and take a shower with these in your ears or jumping in the pool. That ain't going to happen. But what these are is good for workouts, sweat, things like that. So you're not going to damage them when you're sweating, working out, or maybe a small shower outside, you know, light rain might be okay with them. I wouldn't put them under any constant stream of water or go into water with these things because they're not going to last. That's not what they are when it comes to IPX4 rating. 60 minutes battery life out of a 10-minute charge. So if they do run out of charge, then yeah, 10 minutes will give you an extra hour, which is really nice. Not as good as some where you can get 90 minutes and 2 hours out of some of them out of a 10 minutes charge, but it's still nice that that's there in this little package from Sony. One thing it doesn't have when we come to the features is aptX. Not that it mattered. I mean, I didn't see any lag or anything like that. I've not had any lag and it doesn't affect the sound quality, but I really thought these would have been packed with aptX or aptX HD, one of them, but no aptX support. Surprised. Phone calls. You all know I don't use my earbuds for phone calls, I just test them. And it's not something I do very often with earbuds. Very rare I answer a call, I just get my phone and do this. Phone calls are actually pretty good on this. People can hear me very clear on the other end. I can hear them really clear on this end. They don't hear a lot of background noise or anything like that. So when it comes to phone calls, yeah, these are pleasantly, surprisingly good. So the important part, you heard me talk about that bass. You want to know how these sound. Well, I love them. I absolutely love them. With them being a part of the XB series, obviously you get bass. And when I say you get bass, I mean you get bass. The XB stands for extra bass in the Sony line, and they are not lying here. These things boom. Like, the Liberty 2 Pros have got probably the loudest bass I had heard up until recently with these. And the Liberty 2 Pro really do pump out some nice quality, low bass, if you know what I mean by saying that. It's a really nice, you don't get it very often. The Jabra 75Ts also have some really nice bass. These walk up to those two and just go, don't think so, bro. My days, these things, when you crank that bass up, like on an Android, my Pixel 4, you can put the equalizer how you want it, and you can bass boost, and oh, it's amazing. And the other thing that's good about it is it doesn't kill the highs, which sometimes it does, and it only very slightly goes into the mids. Doesn't overpower the vocals. The vocals are still there, but you can see that it's, you know, definitely in front of the mids. But you can change that with your graphic equalizer on your Android phone. Now on the iPhone, it still sounds really good, but you can't you can't boost the bass as much as you can on the Android devices. I just wish they'd give you a real graphic equalizer in iPhones. It drives me nuts that they don't. But yeah, they still sound really good. High bassy on the iPhone, just not as bassy because obviously you haven't got the 6-channel graphic equalizer like you can get on Androids. The sound quality on these is like really energetic. It's dynamic. It gets you going, if you know what I mean, with that bass line. If you're listening to bass heavy music, it's great. I was listening to Let Me Go by Duke Dumont. It's a very piano heavy song at the start with vocals, with a big bass line through it, and it made my hair stand up. It just sounded amazing. Boasty is my go-to track by Wiley over in the UK. That thing has the biggest bass line in the world. That there, I always say, you can always tell how good your earbuds are when it comes to handling bass when you listen to Boasty by Wiley. These just, it just sounds amazing. On the Road by Post Malone. It sounds like you're curled up in the fetal position in the trunk of your friend's car while he's got 4 subs blasting directly into your cranium. If you like bass, these are going to just smash it out of the park. There's just no doubt about it. Amazing sound when it comes to the bass. What if you're not a bass head? Well, you'll be happy to know that things like country, Chris Young, Who Am I, The Dance by Garth Brooks, pop music that isn't very bass heavy, it can handle that really nice as well. It doesn't overpower the mids like I was saying before, because they're not real bass heavy songs, but it gives the music a real sense of, it's hard to say, it's just like a quality sound that comes out of them. I am just astounded by the sound quality of these. I know I've read a couple of people who say, oh, they aren't quite it, bro, they're too bassy. But you don't buy extra bass if you don't want extra bass. But the good thing about these is they're versatile enough that they can handle all the bass you throw at them, but it can also wind back and be like, yeah, I'm just going to give you the chords of the guitar with a real nice low hum in the background, and the vocals will come out over the top. Really, really, really outstanding for me when it comes to sound quality. What I don't like about these, and it's the same on every lower end Sony product, I really thought they may have changed it up with the release of these. And I've been really felt let down by it, because I was so excited for these when I saw they were coming out. And when they sent them to me, I was like, I can't wait to get these. These are surely not going to feel like some of the older products that are lower cost. That's my cat. Even the cat doesn't like the build quality. Well, no, not the build quality. The cat doesn't like the way these feel. Bro, thanks. They feel really unpleasant to hold. It sounds stupid, but the materials they've made these out of, the plastic, it just feels really unpleasant and cheap. And it's not, because the units themselves are built really well. There's no gaps, everything's sealed well, it feels really solid, you know, but these just feel like, they feel like $10 earbuds, which is odd. And now don't let that put you off from buying them, because it doesn't put me off from me. These are now my daily driver right now. These are what I walk around with. I have done for just over a week now. That's how long I've had these, so I've really put these through the paces. And they just feel cheap. Just a horrible, it's textured, the plastic, but it's also slippery. Come on, Sony. You can give us better than this. You've got the likes of the Galaxy Buds Plus with a decent feel to them. The Liberty 2 Pro feel great. You've got your own line, the WF-XB700, blah, blah, blah. Not telling me that that shell costs that much more that you couldn't put it on these. The quality of the plastic just feels, it's really not good. The other thing I don't like I mentioned before, the case only has one 9-hour top-up. Come on, Sony. Give us a little bit more. This isn't exactly a small case. I mean, it's not huge, but it's also not small. Give us more than that. When you've got the likes of the Liberty Air 2 and the Liberty 2 Pro giving us 30, 40 hours out of a battery case, I just don't see any excuse for these to only give you 9 hours. Now, it's not as much of a problem because, like I said, you get up to 9 hours with the earbuds themselves, so you know you're getting a total of 18 hours out of them, but it's just I was hoping for at least 18 hours, 2 full charges out of these, but they missed the ball on that. Shame, really. No aptX support. Really expected that to be there in these, but it's not. But it doesn't really make a difference. I couldn't have told you that they didn't have aptX support, so again, don't let that put you off from buying them. They also don't have any app integration, which I thought was a kick in the nuts. I'm like, come on, you're out there, you're competing against the Galaxy Buds, you're competing against the Liberty 2 Pros, you're competing against the Edifier NB TWS. All three of those have app support. Why wouldn't Sony? They have an app, they have it for all their other stuff. Why wouldn't you put these in with your app support? So you can customize them on iPhones, customize them on Androids a bit more. I don't understand. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't spoil the listening, but these should have had app support. So yeah, I do love these. From a pure sound point of view and comfortable, they're really comfortable. I didn't get any ear fatigue from these or anything. They don't hurt. They just feel really nice in your ear, if that means anything. Nice. I love things in my ears. That feels nice. Sounded weird, didn't mean it that way. But they're very comfortable. You're not going to get ear fatigue from them. They don't get hot or anything like that neither. It's a weird looking design, but ergonomically it works. So way to go, Sony. It's quite obviously competing against the Galaxy Buds Plus. There's no doubt about it. And other than app support and hear-through, when it comes to just total sound quality, these just take the Galaxy Buds Plus by the scruff of the neck and throw them out the house. Gone. They just do. They sound so much better than them. From around the same price, these are a little bit cheaper than Galaxy Buds Plus, and there's just no comparison between them. Now, if you like a really neutral sound and not a lot of overall volume, you might like the Galaxy Buds Plus. But I'm a bass head who likes other types of music, and these work on every type of music I've listened to. They just sound better across the board. So don't buy Buds Plus. Go and buy these. These are fantastic. You're going to love them. You might feel them and think, ugh, they feel crap. But don't let that put you off. Slap these suckers in your ears, get your tunes going, and you will be sold straight away on them. They are probably right now at $130 the best sounding true wireless earbuds for bass heads out there by far. By far. If you're not a bass head, there are some other things out there like the Liberty 2 Pro. They are more versatile again than these. The Liberty 2 Pro can give you a lot different sound signatures, as can the Liberty 2 Air. The Galaxy Buds Plus do give you a very neutral sound, but from a pure standpoint of listening to hip-hop, R&B, dance music, anything like that with a bass line, these just kick ass. There's no two ways about it. They also sound good with country music and things like that. So obviously, you can tell, these things excite me. Go and buy them. This is English Dan saying, these rock. See you later, guys. Bye.